Thank you for listening to REED-BBS.
REED-BBS, BBS. Ring 4 recap. Abdullah Mason, at the age of 21, becomes boxing's youngest current champion with a unanimous decision over Sam Noakes. Mason picked up the vacant WBO lightweight title with scores of 117-111 and 115-113 two times. The idea of Mason versus Noakes was giving me Tommy Hitman Hearns versus Pepino Cuevas vibes. And Mason hurt Noakes a few times early in the fight, which is how Hearns Cuevas ended with a second round KO. Mason was putting hands on Noakes in that same vein early in the fight. But all the while, his defense was leaky as fuck. Instead of using his height, his length, his superior speed, mobility, and jab, Abdullah Mason often found himself in the pocket, standing still right there in front of Sam Noakes, the stronger man, the hard punching, aggressive guy, fighting his fight literally. Abdullah's corner told him all the right shit. They said all the right shit. Keep him at the end of your spear. Maintain your distance. Shoot the jab and move. And Mason did all of that in pockets, but far too often, he would find himself flat-footed right there in the pocket with Sam Noakes. And he was getting off some hard-ass shots. He was punishing Noakes frequently during the fight, but he was there for the return fire far too often. Too much O, not enough D. Offense was superb. Offense, punch selection, power in both hands was superb. That defense, though. That defense, though. I have to give Mason credit for taking the punches well, though. And Noakes came in with 15 KOs and 17 wins. By far the hardest puncher Abdullah Mason has faced. And he passed the chin checks with flying colors. There was too many chin checks for my liking, but Mason passed every one of them. Mason admitted afterwards, in his own words, that he fought Sam Noakes' fight. So I want to give him again credit and props for at least passing the chin checks, considering the level of power that Noakes brought into this fight. For a while now, I've harped on the 2 knockdowns that Mason suffered in the first round against Johan Vasquez. In fact, every video that I've done on Abdullah Mason, I've mentioned the fact that he got dropped twice. Well, after seeing Mason in there with Sam Noakes, a harder punching guy, a better fighter across the board than Johan Vasquez, seeing how Mason dealt with those punches under those bright-ass lights, I will no longer reference the Johan Vasquez knockdowns. That shit is irrelevant to me now. Just like he responded against Vasquez after being dropped twice, against Noakes, Abdullah Mason, he responded like a true champion. A true champion. He wanted his payback. He wanted his get back. So when and if Noakes would land shots, I'm going to stay in this pocket and I'm going to pay you right back. That was Mason's attitude. You got to love the dog in him. That's some shit you can't teach. To just sit there and bite down on that mouthpiece and want to get that get back right then, that's championship level stuff. That is. And to see a 21-year-old doing that, under them bright lights again, toughest guy he's faced in a foreign country, yeah, he's a damn dog. Abdullah's bottom lip was bleeding. There was cuts and swelling along one of his eyes. And nonetheless, he persisted. He wanted the smoke. First time fighting past the 6th round, showing no signs of fatigue in a tough, grueling, bloody battle, which was a fitting opener to the biggest card of the year, Ring 4, Night of the Champions. What a fitting fight to open up that card. I love the maturity of Abdullah Mason. I love how calm and composed he is, always. In his interviews, he's never rushed or hurried. He's not a bling dude. You know, he don't have an entourage. Well, his entourage is his brothers and his old man. He ain't got no yes men over there. He's got family over there. 20-0, 17 KOs, and new WBO lightweight champion of the world, Abdullah Mason. Future so bright, motherfucker need to wear shades. I'm not sure what the plan is or what's next for Team Mason. If I were calling the shots, I wouldn't necessarily rush into unification bouts. Let this brother, groom this brother a bit. Let him get 2, 3, 4 fights, defenses up under his belt. And he very well could be the best lightweight on the planet. Don't rush it. I ain't saying babysit him, but don't rush him either. As I speak, Gervonta Tank Davis is the WBA lightweight champion, with Floyd Kid Austin Schofield being his mandatory challenger. Shakur Stevenson is the WBC champion, and I believe Andy Cruz is his mandatory. IBF champion Ray Mirataya, who's actually fighting his mandatory Andy Cruz in his next fight, leaving Abdullah as WBO champion. Now, he came in the number 1 contender. Noakes was number 2. I've heard talks that they may want to do a rematch. At least that was being teased and insinuated by DAZN. And I wouldn't be mad at that necessarily, because the next guy beneath them, Alan Chavez or something to that effect, he hadn't raised no hell. So if they were to go to Noakes, Mason 2, I wouldn't be mad at that. And I think Abdullah would finally get the KO that I predicted in the first fight. I could see that happening in a rematch. As I stated, though, I would not rush this kid. He's just 21 years old. You don't need to rush into unifications. Maybe by 2027 or very late 2026, get him a couple title defenses. Maybe throw in a Sam Noakes rematch. That'll be good, because we're thinking long game here. And this kid could be one of the absolute best fighters, not just in the 135-pound division, but in the world, if you let him mature and you groom him properly. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, comment. Remember, sharing is caring. Love tap and or bitch slap that like button for your boy. And shout out to the homies at FightBeat.com. Can you step to this? REED-BBS, BBS. Blackbird Sugar. Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television! Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.